With less than 3 hours to go, still no agreement in Congress to avoid a government shutdown.
Now, while the House passed a temporary funding measure last night, that bill still needs 60 votes to pass the Senate, and that looks doubtful at best.
Montana's two senators on opposite sides of the issue.
And both took to the Senate floor today to speak their minds.
I expected the leaders of this body to work in good faith and get the job done. I was wrong. Because for 111 days, they've refused to provide long-term funding for community health centers. For 111 days, they have failed to pass a bill that secures our borders. For 111 days, they've neglected our children by refusing to reauthorize CHIP. For 111 days, they've failed to do the most basic and fundamental aspect of our job, and that is pass a long-term budget that works for this country and works for my home state of Montana.
The choice is either we buy some more time to resolve these issues of illegal immigration, or we shut down the government, harming our military, our veterans, our seniors, and compromising our national security. A government shutdown, I believe, is a mistake.
As the country anxiously watches and waits, plenty of questions remain unanswered.
And to help us answer a few of those questions, CBS's Weijia Zhang joining us tonight again from the Capitol Hill. Weijia, bring us up to date on where things stand right now.
Jay and Janelle, senators are expected to vote at 10 o'clock tonight on whether to move this bill forward. And we know that Senate Democrats will be meeting in just about an hour to talk about their plans. This is after their leader, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, was summoned to the White House today by President Trump himself, who picked up the phone and said, come over so we can hash out a deal. President Trump characterized their meeting in a tweet as excellent, but I can tell you when Senator Schumer arrived back to Capitol Hill after that meeting, he had a different tone. He said they made progress. They talked for about an hour and a half, but there were still a lot of disagreements. So what was said during that meeting is going to be critical as they all come together in just about an hour again to talk about their plans at 10 o'clock.
Weijia, at least 3 Senate Republicans say they will not support the House bill, with the bill needing 60 votes in the Senate. Are the votes even there?
This is why we're here right now, because Democrats made very clear that they have the numbers to block the measure from the House that cleared last night. This entire time they've made crystal clear what they've wanted, which is to address and resolve protections for DACA recipients either before or at the same time that they were tackling the budget. That did not happen. So what we don't know, again, is what happened during these last phases, during today, this critical time for them to work something out and to see if someone blinked first, if you will. But time is running out. We're all watching the clock, and we're all waiting to see what they did in fact talk about, because even though we have different perspectives, whether it was a good meeting or an okay meeting, the fact is we don't know what was agreed upon, and we won't know until we hear those votes.
So if the bill fails in the Senate tonight, what's next, do you believe? Is there any hope for a Hail Mary, for instance?
Frankly, no. I mean, this is their chance. This is why there is a midnight deadline. This would be the 4th CR, or continuing resolution, which is a short-term measure to fund the government. And if that doesn't happen, then the government will shut down, which is exactly why federal agencies have been preparing for that, even though they're all saying in different statements they don't think it will come to that, or they hope it won't come to that. They have contingency plans because realistically it could come to that. So we just have to wait and see what happens in the Senate, but it is looking increasingly likely that a shutdown could very well happen.
All right, CBS's Weijia Zhang live from Capitol Hill tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.